special guest, Soldier Boy.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ spit and I said my.
I think people misunderstand why they can relate to Soldier Boy. First, let me start saying that Soldier Boy is not a good person.
I'm not a bad guy.
That's not what I'm arguing. And before people try to bring up the Stormfront stuff, yes, that's obviously bad. But I don't think that's why people relate to him. And it's really not part of the character I'm talking about. A lot of people can say, yeah, he's a pretty confident guy. On the other hand, I see him more as a cynical, unhealthy, unhealed person. And that's sadly the reality of it. He expects disappointment from people. He expects betrayal. He expects people to leave. And after a while, he stops expecting anything from anyone. People can also say Soldier Boy is not emotional, but I completely disagree. Aggression is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. And his sarcasm, that's definitely an emotional defense mechanism. Soldier Boy is emotionally constantly. He just only allows himself to express emotions that make him feel powerful. Whenever he's hurt, rejected, embarrassed, or vulnerable, it gets turned into anger. Look at what happens with Payback. Look at Crimson. He never really processes the betrayal. He immediately channels it into rage and revenge. And then what becomes interesting is that Homelander actually becomes a reflection of Soldier Boy.
You.
I know.
Homelander wanted the exact same thing Soldier Boy wanted. Approval from his father. Acceptance. Connection. And then Soldier Boy goes ahead and does the exact same thing his father did to him. Calls him weak, he rejects him, he becomes the very thing that hurts him. And that's why I don't think Soldier Boy heals from any of it. He just convinced himself that he didn't need people. And honestly, I think that's the part people relate to. And it's not because people want to be violent or because they believe he's morally right. I think a lot of people have just gone through a lot of periods of time where they just don't expect people to stay. They stop opening up and they somehow manage to convince themselves that they're better off alone. The difference between you and Soldier Boy is that Soldier Boy gets stuck there. People also want to be Soldier Boy because they think he doesn't care what other people think. But if you were to actually become Soldier Boy, you probably wouldn't want the rest of his life. Everyone ends up betraying him. Everyone pushes away from him. And he ends up alone. Because despite what he tells himself, human beings need connection. And that's why I personally think Soldier Boy is not an example of strength.
Buddy, you think you look strong?
I think Soldier Boy happens when cynicism becomes your personality and that emotional shutdown gets confused for confidence. And in conclusion, Jensen Ackles is the most handsome man alive and has increased Soldier Boy's popularity by 1,000%. Bye guys!